I feel like really over the past few years, I've just given so much less of a fuck who likes me. Introduce yourself. Okay. I don't, this is, so as somebody that works to like introduce other brands and businesses, why do I have the hardest time introducing myself? Like if I'm on a meeting and they're like, let's do some intros, I'm like, fuck. And they're like, oh, Maria. And I'm like, you just said my name. That's my intro. Like next. But yeah, I'm Maria Mack. I'm now calling myself a Pittsburgher because this is my 10th year that I'll be here. So I feel like at that point I can say I'm from here. Yeah. I don't know what the rule is, but um, I am a brand strategist and marketer. I own my own business. I consult with a lot of local businesses, bigger brands, smaller brands, and just try to help them break through the noise and figure out who they are. Also, while I'm trying to figure out who the fuck I am, because I change who I am every day. So I guess that's who I am, and we'll dig into these guys. Okay, so on a scale of 1 to 10, how authentically are you living right now, both online and offline? Um, Online, I would say authentic to who I am in this moment, and I think I go back and forth choosing, okay, I want to share a lot online, and I don't want to share a lot online. So I feel like I go from like being all in to being like, I'm keeping this for myself. And that is a lot of who I am. So offline, I think that's also true for offline too. I have worked hard to make my circle a lot smaller, and I really like it that way. So I think that's way more authentic to who I am because in my small circle, sometimes I will share everything, and my friends in this little realm will know everything about me, and then I'll have some major things go on and I won't tell them. And they'll be like, "Well, that's her. That's just how she is." And so I feel like that's me online and offline, and the version of me right now is, yeah, I would say living authentically in both ways. You said something I really love, that you're not for everyone and you're okay with that now. When and how did that shift happen for you? So, I want to say growing up, and a lot of people don't know this about me. So, I grew up in like rural northeastern Pennsylvania. I'm originally from New York, but did a lot of my growing up years in the Poconos. And I was homeschooled from kindergarten all through high school. And I don't tell people that. Actually, I don't even know why I'm saying it, but I think it adds into this because for years I would get like, are you like the Duggars? Do you wear skirts? Do you do school in your pajamas? Do like how do you make friends? Because I was always a very social person and I still am. Um, and so I think that through those years, because I think when you're homeschooled, like you're with like the same amount of kids a lot. Like I was involved in a lot of different groups and things like that, and so I'm seeing the same people all the time, as are people that aren't homeschooled, but the group setting's way smaller. It's way you have to be way like the selection of people to be friends with is a lot smaller. So I think that I was so into wanting people to like me and be my friend that it all kind of started then. Um, and I had this like really big personality and I was really outgoing, and I think a lot of people in that like setting almost didn't know what to do with me. So I was like, well, wait, why aren't they? Some people would like me, some wouldn't. But I just was like craving to be liked. And I think that carried over a lot for years. Um, Through college, I would say through like my early years, my early like career years, I was living in New York City. I was making shit money. And I was just like so obsessed with everybody. Like, I had to have people like me. And if somebody didn't like me, I'd be like, wait. Or if I didn't get a job that I was like, oh, well, they loved me. How could you not? And I was like, what could I do to make somebody like me? And if somebody would talk shit about me, I would take it like so personal. And then I feel like I moved to Pittsburgh with zero friends, moved here for a guy, and I really started to be like, okay, nobody knows anything about me. Like, people can like me for just who I am now. And then I don't feel like it was till I probably had a baby that I became so much more choosing with who I spent my time with, and that I didn't care if people didn't like me. And I really started to develop me and my business. And the big things are is like I don't like everyone I meet, so why would I expect everyone to like me? And I am not for everybody, just as certain people that have tons of friends that are loved and bring really awesome things to the table. Like I might not be for them, they might not be for me. And so I feel like really over the past few years, I've just given so much less of a fuck who likes me. And it's funny, I was saying recently, because I was talking to one of my friends about like plans and, oh, we getting dinner or whatever. And oh, so and so wants to get dinner with us. And they're like, the outside skirts of like friends. And I'm just like, I'm actively trying to have like less friends, which sounds so shitty. But I'm just like, I don't have the capacity to care for as many individuals anymore, and like let people not like me. Like I have a big mouth, I'm gonna tell you what I think, like even with clients. Like I'm not, my speed of working and my way of communicating is totally not for everybody. If I can't look at you and say what the fuck is going on here, and no, we're not doing that, then we can't work together. And I don't expect everyone to vibe with that at all. So if we're in the middle of like or beginning of talks about like their goals and like how I can support them, like that's the initial like, do I fuck with you? And if I don't, then like that's cool. And if you don't fuck with me, that's so cool. Like all good. But I think it takes a lot of growing and falling on your fucking face to get to that point. But I mean, I'm still kind of learning how that affects like me and my friendships and my business and things like that. But yeah, I mean, I'm fucking not for everyone. And I also say like my dog doesn't like everybody, so why would I expect everybody to like me? Because they also know. Like if somebody comes over or like my dog is like not catching your vibe, I don't think I have any friends in my tight circle that my dog doesn't like, because he knows. He's an asshole, but he knows. Okay. Talk to me about the reality of building a business. Has it taken time to find your voice and trust yourself? I think I always had the voice. It just was about having the balls to use it in the right way and learning how to trust my gut. It kind of evolved in an interesting way. I didn't mean to start a business, which everybody says when they're like, I fell into it. I mean, I fell on my face and I had to find something. Um, so I was married and decided to leave that marriage and was moving out. I had no money, I had no job, and I just wanted to get out. And I had just left an agency. And so I immediately just started looking for some clients. And within a week, I had like two retainer clients. I had no fucking idea what I was going to do for them, but my voice was able to help me get them. And I like signed them and I was like, oh fuck, what is happening? And I think I just had to trust myself in those moments because I was going through all of that shift personally, and then I didn't really have a choice. I had to find something. So um, I really had to trust myself and figure it out. But I think in the reality of a business, I mean, I think any business owner, whether they have employees or it's just themselves, and mainly it's just me, is, I mean, you can lose clients like that for valid reasons, for invalid reasons, and a lot of it sometimes it's just out of your control, and you have to be able to just keep fucking going. and it's not what you want to do. You know, you can't really like pencil in a mental breakdown on a Tuesday if you have shit due. Um, but you have to just kind of like trust that you're gonna get it done and then you're gonna make things happen. But I think that's probably the hardest part is knowing, at least for me, that like I'm a one woman show and I can't allow shit to happen in my life sometimes. So if there's things that it's like, okay, I can't take this on personally because this seems volatile and I can't fuck up my workflow right now, then like, yeah, I can't. Like, and I have to turn things like that down, whether it's like, oh, I kind of want to get to know this person, but like it seems like that's going to take a big emotional toll on me. Like, no. Um, and I only say that because I've kind of learned the hard way on it. Um, but yeah, I think trusting myself and I'm continuing, I would say, to find my voice in certain scenarios because I don't know, this voice in here changes a lot. Some days she's like, I'm doing everything. And other days I'm like, I'm just going to watch Mormon Wives all day and cancel all my meetings because like I need a day. So, yeah, still evolving. Okay, so you work with businesses on branding and marketing. I gotta find a good, like,
Yeah,
I'm like, all right. Also, I wore my motherfucker
I love
socks
that.
today on purpose because that was the vibe I felt when I woke up this morning. Okay, you work with businesses on branding and marketing. What is your mission? Why do you do what you do? My mission is to just help people not be like everyone else. And there's so much of that. There's so much of like unauthentic people that aren't authentic, brands that aren't authentic, people that just do all the same shit, sell the same shit. And so I just want the clients that I work with to feel different and help them understand that why they're different is actually really cool and get that message to the right people. And sometimes I've even talked with potential clients that I'm just like, your brand isn't cool and your message isn't cool. And if they're not in tune with wanting to shift that towards the audience that they know is their audience, then that's like an example of somebody that like, hey, I don't think we should work together. Um, but why do I do what I do? In the local scene here, I think that's probably where my heart is the most with, I would say, smaller to mid-sized businesses, is because a lot of times it's just one person trying to do everything. And I work with people that my favorite type of person to work with is like, I don't know shit about Bach, but you do, so here, take it, go. Um, and I love that. So when somebody trusts me to be able to really craft this story of their brand and who they are and get people to be interested in it, that's why I'm doing it. That's the coolest thing. Even when you see, I do a lot of e-commerce. When I see businesses just move the needle even a little bit, they're fucking psyched. And for like a major brand, it's nothing, but for them, it's everything. Um, so that's, I would say that's my why. Okay. Well, these are going to be good. How do you balance building a meaningful career and being a mom? I don't know if it's balance or if it's just like controlled chaos, but I, so I'm a single mom. I have her part time, and me and her dad are on like a 50-50. So when she's not with me, I feel like I hustle harder, but I also want to play hard when she's not with me. Sometimes I'm like, okay, no, tonight you're staying in and you're getting all this done. And then when she's here, um, I'm wrapping up work early if I can. But then there's also times where like she's sick, I gotta go pick her up at school. I had a heavy day of meetings that day, and then I'm like, fuck. And it's not her fault, but then I feel like, yeah, again, being like a one woman show, you're letting the people that keep your lights on down. So what does that look like? And so I feel like it's the constant anxiety of, am I doing enough? Am I doing the right things? Am I showing her how to show up? And she's only 6, so I mean, I don't know how meaningful that is to her at this point. But I look at like my mom, who was also a single mom, raised 2 girls, and she was able to stay home with us probably till maybe I was like 13 or so, and then she started to work again. And back then, like, I didn't know shit. So I was just like complaining about everything. And now I'm like, oh, I get it. That's so hard. Because it's like, I'm working, I'm doing meetings, then like I pick up her and I want to spend time with her. But then it's like, my house is a disaster. And then I put her to bed, and half the time I fall asleep putting her to bed. So then the work I was supposed to get done after she goes to bed is no longer. And then there's dishes in the sink. I forgot to let the dog out. And so it's, I feel like the constant heaviness of I'm not doing enough. But I don't think as a parent that ever goes away. So that's something that I'm just coming to terms with, really. But I think what I would want her to see is sometimes good is good enough, and that you can do whatever you want. Um, yeah. What does real community look like to you? And do you have a small circle? So, for community, I think I would answer that in a few different ways. So, I think people would might know me from the various jobs I've had in Pittsburgh, which have caused me to like meet a ton of people. Um, from Good Fucking Candle, which is like in purgatory right now. Um, and just from like kind of being in the small business community and having a lot of small business owner friends, I feel like those, all of those communities that I've been involved in, I have taken like such great relationships from those. Um, and so to me, it's like they're all part of this community, whether they're intertwined or not, of just people that would show up for you and I would show up for them. Um, and even the like the creative community of just support for each other. And sometimes it doesn't mean physically showing up. And I think a lot of what I thought being there for someone from like a community perspective in the beginning was like physically showing up. And now, I would say in the past year or so, like I think it's more about mentally and emotionally being present than my body is here in this room. Because let's say I'm going to an event and I'm physically there, but my mind is not. What does that do? I'm just another head count. But, and there's a lot of people that I've met in this community that maybe if there's like something I'm hosting or I'm going to somebody else's event, they're unable to make it, but they show up more mentally and emotionally for me and for others than the people that are have their bodies in a room. So to me, that's almost what community looks like more rather than just a room filled with people. And that's kind of how, so another, the second one is, do you have a small circle? Um, if you would ask anybody else, they would probably say, Maria fucking knows everyone. And that would make you feel like I have a big circle. But the people that know me know that my circle is smaller. And how I judge a small circle is, I heard this on a podcast years ago, and it was talking about the people whose opinions of you matter the most. And who are they? And when you go to sleep at night and you want to feel like, did I make the right decision? Am I living an authentic life? Am I being a good person? Who are those people? And I feel like those people are my small circle. And so there's that small circle, and then there's like my friends. And the small circle it's interesting because not being from here, well, I guess, am I from here? Am I not from here? So it's been 10 years, and I think that there's one person in my small circle was one of the first people I met when I moved here. And so I try to have a small friend turnover rate because I feel like that's sometimes more on me, to where I think in your 30s, you're more prone to make close friends faster, but like almost lose them faster too, because you're more like ready for like an authentic friendship and to be like open with somebody and really get to know them outside of the like bullshit. And you get to know them faster. So then you realize, like, are they a good fit to be my person faster? And sometimes those people come and go. There's friendships for seasons, but I feel like those that exist in my small circle are the ones that, would bury a body in this rug for me, um, have shown up for me and my kid, and are just the people whose opinions of me that matters the most. This is actually a funny question. I can't answer it honestly. Okay, so what are you learning to love about yourself? I always feel like people are like, you need to learn to love yourself before you love anybody else. I'm like, yeah, no shit. But also, like, it's a learning process. There's totally so many things I don't like about myself, but I think it's the awareness of knowing what they are. And it's, what am I learning to love? Probably like my mess. Like, I'm a very messy person, and I'm messy in how I live my life with all of the chaos that I bring into it, and not bad chaos. I feel like chaos from like taking on projects or making sure my house is clean enough or doing the laundry or just too many things like that make me just feel messy. And maybe it's just because society makes me feel that way. I mean, right now, I feel like Taylor Frankie Paul is making me feel like I'm not a mess at all. But I think learning to love these things about myself are hard because there's minimal things in life and people that I love. And minimal by mean, I I don't try to use that word that much. Like, I have people that will, friends even, that'll just hug me and be like, love you, as they leave. I'm like, I can't do that. Like, I'm not that person, because like I say that to those people that I fucking love and those things that I love. And I can't just be like, I love you in passing. Um, and I actually love that about myself now that I think about it. Like, I love that I don't reciprocate the love you as we're leaving the bar. Um, because I might love you in the love you way, but like, I can't say it. And I think I'm learning to love the journey that I've been on to get here, because it's been one. Um, and I look back on my life and all of the points that I really didn't have love for myself. And not just like loving specific things, but just like love for me at all. And all of the things I really didn't love, but grew to understand that that was okay too. Um, and so I think that's still in the works. Um, yeah. How has it felt to be seen in the hot seat today? I mean, I feel like I'm in therapy.
Is that a good thing?
Oh, I fucking love therapy. I love therapy. I've been with my therapist now for 6 years, and we've only met once in person.
Wow.
And it's kind of funny that you could share so much with an individual and never have had face to face with them. Um, and funny, the thing on therapy, I like met her. I got set up with her at like a really awful time of life to where I had just had a baby. Um, I was in a marriage I didn't want to be in. My dog had just passed away, like really unexpectedly, like right after my kid was born, like in my arms in my living room. And my criteria for a therapist was like so different at that point. It was, I need somebody that's a mom that loves dogs, that has a dog currently, um, and is a little weird. Like those are my criteria. But I don't like normal people. And so I got set up with my therapist. And yeah, I love going because I mean sometimes like but going as in I'm sitting in my pajamas in front of my computer. That's me going to therapy. But it's I learned so much about myself. Like yesterday we were talking about so ridiculous. All of the TV and movie characters, like men, like leading roles that I was so obsessed with growing up. And I was writing down all of their like key traits that drove me to be obsessed with them. And what are all these commonalities? And which of my boyfriends or men I've been with have those? And what they are, and we landed on the most toxic relation, not the most toxic, one of a toxic relationship I had. That person possessed all of these traits. And we're going back to fucking Jack Sparrow, Jack Bauer, Sawyer from Lost. We are like naming all of these like mysterious, kind of an asshole, a little bit sexy, like good heart, um, all of these things. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the type of man I've been chasing for years. And when they don't have these traits, or maybe just like one, it's not good enough for me. But why are these traits like so activating for me? Um, and so it's funny because it's like, you know, I'm in therapy, like talking about like crazy life changes one week and all these things. And the next week I'm like writing down like my favorite. She's like, have you watched Outlander? I'm like, no, let me add it to the list. And I'm like identifying like, oh my God, this made me realize like why I was so obsessed with all of these characters, what I took from them and like how did that connect to like who I wanted to connect with. So it's so interesting because I'm like it's still like self-discovery. Like I'm learning all these things and I'm like, "Oh my God, you are so fucked." And I'm like, "But am I that bad?" You know? Um so it's funny and like being here does feel like therapy. And it's a space where I think you could just share who you truly are and not be judged. And I think it's also, if you're being judged, I think it's okay to feel like that. But I think that that's where I get to where, well, I'm not for everybody and that's okay. So don't be for everybody, just be for you. Okay, that's it.